this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the spinning roulette machine. And to do that, the first thing you need to do is make sure you are VIP so you can access the Easy Precision tool. Secondly, you want to make sure you have this part that's highlighted. Bind it to a key because we'll be needing that later. And what that does is it makes it so you can actually switch between the different tools, because if you just click something it's not going to work, it's a bug. But if you have it binded to something, so I click rotate, nothing happened, the menu is still the same, but after you bind it to something and click that bind, you can see that it actually changed, and that's how you know it's working. So go back to access, click the bind again, and we have our menu. So after you have something similar built, something like this built and welded together, you want to create a point that it's going to actually spin off of. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to stack this platform, a second platform, and this is what it's going to spin off of. So I'm going to stack it. I'm going to kind of get it somewhat flushed here. I think that's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to no collide this. And then I'm going to use our Easy Precision tool. Remember, we're making the point that it's going to spin off of. So it's going to spin off of, here, I'll make it easier. It's going to spin off of yellow. This whole build right here is going to spin off of yellow. So I'm going to go to our Easy Precision tool. We're going to go to Axis. We're going to uncheck Move Target. Make sure that is unchecked. And then we are going to click in the middle of this and click in the middle of this. Alright, and then after that, we're going to just unfreeze everything except this point. The point that it's the anchor, I guess you could say. This is always going to be frozen. Yellow is always going to be frozen. We are going to unlock everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so after you unfreeze everything besides yellow, which is our anchor point, what we basically did is we created an invisible line from here to here. And that's why it's spinning like that. The next thing we need to do is we need to create a prop that is constantly spinning inside. And the reason for this is if this was to sit here too long, not moving, it's going to freeze again. And we have to unlock it every time with our fizz gun. But if there's something inside that it's attached to that's constantly in motion, it's not going to freeze. So what we're going to do is we're going to spawn a prop, fairly small, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it can hide inside of it. We're going to go ahead and go to our Easy Precision, make sure it's still set to Axis, and make sure Move Target is checked. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shoot in the middle, and we're going to shoot in the middle right here and attach it to it. Alright, so next thing we want to do is we want to make that new prop we just spawned in there spin. And to do that, we want to spawn something else small, doesn't matter. And we're going to go ahead and click in the middle, go ahead and attach it to the side here on the edge, and then click that same prop again and then attach it to another side, a different side on that edge, and then we're going to unlock it. And now it's constantly in motion and it's attached to this prop, so it's basically not going to freeze anymore. So before we go ahead and spawn the prop to make the whole thing spin on its own, I went ahead and changed the material here to see what we did so far. So yellow is our anchor point. This is the prop that should always be frozen. The red prop inside that we just made prevents this whole dupe from freezing, because if this, like I said, if the dupe stays still for too long, it will freeze, so you'll have to use your fizz gun every time to unfreeze it. That prop inside prevents that. Okay, so to actually make the whole thing spin, we're gonna spawn a prop, something, no, that's too big, something fairly small so it can actually hide inside, and something that's gonna be fairly big, because this whole thing here, the dupe that actually spins, this has weight. We want something that actually has weight itself so it can actually move the thing. So after we spawn something, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it can hide, we want to use our precision tool, make sure it's still set to Axis, and Move Target is still checked. We want to go ahead and select the prop, and we want to attach it to the inside. I have my snap distance a little bit higher than 0 because if I have it at 0, it kind of shows on from the outside. As you can see, if it goes higher, it kind of goes further from the point I'm looking at. So I have it just a little bit higher than 0, and then after that we can go ahead and look at it, see, it's not sticking out, obviously. And then we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to go a little bit further up, but still in the inside, and then we're going to unlock it. As we can see, it is now spinning on its own. Let's go ahead and freeze this real quick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so it can spin off of a keypad. You could use a button or biometric, but in this case we're gonna use a keypad. So we're gonna unfreeze it so it could spin on its own. After that, we want to go to our fading door. Make sure the settings are the same as your keypad settings when it comes to the password and button. But the keypad settings, just make sure the hold length here is at least 6. You can do a little bit lower, but I do 6. The fading door hold length does not matter. It's based off of just the keypad. And after you have the settings the same with the access granted and password to the same as the fading door one, what we want to do is make sure reversed is toggled on, and then we're going to click the side here that is moving, and it'll freeze because a part is missing. And then we're going to go ahead and place our keypad here, and it's going to be code 1 because that's what we set it to. Go ahead and activate it, and we can see that it is now spinning on its own.